It's time to get inside the Giants huddle.
Let's go, back to your huddle.
On Giants.com.
Tempo.
And the Giants mobile app.
Go.
Part of the Giants podcast network.
Yeah.
Welcome to the newest edition of the Giants Huddle podcast. Today we're going to talk to three of the Giants' defensive linemen. But first, I want to remind everybody you can find the Giants Huddle podcast at giants.com/podcast, on the Giants mobile app, and on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave a 5-star positive review. All right, let's get to our interviews. Today we're going to talk to Leonard Williams, Austin Johnson, but we'll lead it off with Giants third-year defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. We're joined by Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. Dexter, let's start here. What were your big goals this offseason? Heading into your third year, where are you trying to make the biggest jump in improvement?
Honestly, just continue growing my knowledge in my position, making sure, I was healthy, coming back. That was a big thing for me, and kind of growing like as a leader on the team, building those relationships, holding my teammates accountable, holding myself accountable for things. It's just, and kind of just understanding like how it goes, the NFL goes, because first 2 years you still kind of learning, and now on my third year is the year where you just have to, prove yourself even more. And that's the biggest thing that I worked on this offseason.
Looking back for a second before we look forward, how big of a change in role was it for you in going from a different scheme in your first year to your second year? How big of an adjustment was that for you, or really wasn't not that much different for you?
It wasn't too much different. Honestly, the coaches came in and did a good job and taught us everything we need to know in the beginning. So that really helped a lot. So the adjustment when we came in for training camp wasn't too much because they did such a good job beforehand teaching us.
And you were able to do that virtually without even being in person.
Right, yeah, exactly. So they did a really good job, teaching the position, teaching what they wanted and what they wanted to see. And
now how about this year? Dalvin Tomlinson's not with us, a key to your defensive line. Do you think you're going to be at maybe nose a little bit more? Do you think your role is going to change much now that Dalvin's not here?
Honestly, I want to play. I will play the whole defensive line from 0 to 9 if I had to.
And by the way, you did that last year too. You were all over the line of scrimmage for sure.
Yeah. So I'll say obviously Dalvin was a great teammate, great player for us, and he left his impact on me a lot. So honestly, I'm gonna take what he left me and try to improve on that, and just work with what we have now and be the best D-line we can be.
Well, let's talk about the guys that are going to step in and try to pick up some of the slack for and the snaps that Dalvin had on the field. You bring in Danny Shelton, who's a big guy,
huge,
large man, and for you to call somebody else a large man is saying something, by the way. And Austin Johnson comes back. So how do you think those guys are going to step in and try to pick up some of the slack with Dalvin not there?
I think they're going to be great. Just watching, even during OTAs, watching them go and watching them go through bags, they look really good. So it's honestly promising, and I'm excited to get started.
What are your big goals this year for you heading into this season where you want to, if there are benchmarks, or you don't have to give me numbers, but just things that you really want to take, improve on?
Honestly, just go out there and let go and be me. Don't hold back anything. Just be the best player I can be, and only I can stop myself from doing that.
What have you learned from Leonard? He's a guy that he started his career. He never had really a consistent high level of sack numbers year to year, but he was producing pressure on the quarterback, right? What can you learn from him in terms of becoming a more consistent pass rusher? Because I know we always talk. That's a big thing that's always on your list to just disrupt that quarterback.
Just having a motor is what he always talk about. Not killing yourself mentally, being mentally strong, and in that area. And he's just a good guy, you can just listen to his experiences. And, he taught me, he teach me how, kind of things not to do and how to go about things. So just having that leader and that mentor, in a group, the vet in a group like that kind of, mows me to have a great mindset and to have that confidence to be me.
We always talk about like disguise and changing things up for the secondary with this defense. What is it like on the defensive line? How much do they ask you guys to change week to week based on your opponent? Like, is 1 week are you one gap and then you're two gap and the next? How much does it change for you guys?
I say play by play. It changes for us. We're one gap, two gap. So I feel like D-line is the toughest position on the field by far. Maybe a quarterback is all right, but we don't like them that much. But honestly, like just with our position, we have to go get it, and we have to be able to adjust on the fly. Because offensive lines can give you different things like that. So, it's things that you growing up, it happened to you all the time.
All right, finally, what do you think the next step is for this defense? You always talk about the offense, second year in the same system, all that stuff. How about the defense?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are in this thing for the second straight year now. You get some reinforcements that come in here. Dory
Yep.
Jackson was a free agent signing. So Xavier McKinney's going to be healthy
Yep.
the whole year. He was out most of the year last year. So where do you think this group can kind of take that next step and make that improvement?
Very promising. Like you said, you see guys like that. The owner, the GM, bring in guys like that. Just to help improve those spots, and that's big for us. And it's only we can stop ourselves. Is the mindset only we can, and it's also like why not the Giants? Why not be the best? Why not? So it's just the mindset that we have, and we want to go into the whole year with why not.
Great stuff, Dex. We look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
That's Dexter Lawrence. Limited Giants season tickets are on sale now for the 2021 season. In addition to ticket savings, membership benefits include access to exclusive events, experiences, pre-sales, and more. You can lock in your seat starting at just $100. Call 888-NYG-1925 or visit Giants.com/tickets for more information. All right, now let's move on to Austin Johnson, who's entering his second year with Big Blue. Now we're joined by Giants defensive lineman Austin Johnson. Austin, good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
It's great to see you guys in person. All right, what has it been like actually having spring practice? I mean, this is amazing. Last year you had to figure everything out virtually. This year you guys are actually together. What kind of difference does that make for you guys?
Obviously, like you said, we're all together. It feels good to be, back and seeing the guys and kind of keep on building that trust and that camaraderie. So it's good to be back with everybody.
Now, you guys are one short in your defensive line room. Dalvin Tomlinson had moved on and moved somewhere else. When you guys look around, do you see opportunities for you to have a chance to step up and replace some of the snaps in production that Dalvin is vacating with him leaving the team?
Yeah, Dalvin's an amazing player, but every year is a chance for everybody to step up and get more snaps, more playing time. So, it's going to be competition in our room, and that's what makes everybody better.
How do you think you found your way in this scheme last year coming over in year number one?
The scheme's amazing. PG is awesome D coordinator. Spencer's a great defensive line coach, so, blessed to have those guys. But, it fit really well. I think all of us do, and all of us kind of feed off of each other, so we have a really good room.
What is it like being coached by Spence? We can hear him. Like we're watching. Unfortunately, we had to watch practice with all the rules from like 75 yards away last year. I can hear him. So what is it like being up close and personal with that dude all the time?
Yeah, he's an Energizer bunny. He never stops moving. Loud, like you said, you're gonna hear him no matter where you're at on the field. I've known him for a really long time, but he's just a great coach, great guy to be around. If you're having a bad day, he's gonna be on you. He's gonna bring you right back to that level you need to be at. So he's a really good coach.
How did your relationship going back to college with him, help you be as productive you were last year? How did his presence help bring you along a little bit?
I trust him a lot. He trusts me. So it's that kind of, give and take. It's just that relationship. I've known him for, 8 years now, 8-9 years. So, it's that relationship that's already built, and it's very helpful, to say the least.
Where do you feel the most comfortable? Do you like playing the zero? Do you like playing the one over, right over the center? Do you like playing the center guard gap? Do you like to go 3 technique, 5 technique? Where are you most comfortable on the defensive line?
Wherever you're going to put me, I'll be comfortable. Promise.
Where do you like to play? How about that?
All of the positions, I promise. I like playing all the positions.
You've been
4
coached
eye,
so well,
5, 3, nose. I like it all. I like it all, honestly.
What are the different challenges, especially, let's say in this defense, playing inside? You're playing either on the center or between the center and the guard.
Mm-hmm.
You have to 2-gap, right?
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah.
What are some of the keys for you from the technique-wise to be a good 2-gap player? And this team was just so consistent stop the run last year for the most part. So for you when you're in that spot, what are some of the keys to being a good run defender?
Hands, extension, obviously keeping your pads down, being number one. But and then, like I said, PG and Spence are really, really good on staying on top of us with all those things, because we were a good run defense last year, and just try to be very consistent.
Austin, good stuff, man. We really appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Giants defensive lineman Austin Johnson. Don't miss out on your chance to experience a premier hospitality experience. Watching Giant games and world-class concerts in 2021 as a Giants suite partner. Limited full-season locations are available, or place a deposit for individual games. Call 888-NYG-1925 or visit Giants.com/suites for more information. All right, now let's move on to Giants defensive lineman Leonard Williams, coming off a career-high 11.5 sacks in 2020, and, of course, just signing a long-term contract. And now we're joined by Giants defensive lineman Leonard Williams. Leonard, first of all, congratulations on the long-term contract. Are you excited that you know you're going to be here now long-term?
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, I think that's the biggest part of why players want a long-term contract is because, stability. I know I'm going to be here for at least another 3 years. And I get to grow with my team and this defense.
What is it about this place that makes you think that you can continue to reach your potential like you did last year when you had a career-high 11.5 sacks?
Yeah, I mean, specifically, playing under Coach Judge and this staff, they're definitely hard-nosed, blue-collar type of coaches that want to push me and push the team. And then also just the history of defensive linemen that have been through this building. I want to live up to those guys and make those type of guys proud.
Sacks are funny. I think I can go back to great seasons from defensive tackles, and they maybe have 6 sacks or 7 sacks, right? What all came together that let you get to, 11.5 for a defensive tackle was a lot.
Yeah, like you said, for a defensive tackle, you could have a great season with 6 sacks, but 11.5 was definitely high, and I think it's a big shout out to the staff once again, Pat Graham, and Sean Spencer, my D-line coach, and I think Pat does a great job of putting his players in the right position to succeed. And, Sean Spencer just did a good job of making sure that I focused on day-by-day process instead of focusing at the end number result. And, it got me to where I wanted to be.
Not that teams weren't already game planning for you, because I know they were. But now that target might be a little bit bigger, a little bit brighter. So what's the challenge for you to try to repeat, even if the sack number isn't the same, right, but to repeat that level of performance?
I think the challenge is, once again, to not have pressure on me of thinking of end goal results and taking it step by step, like how they taught me last year. Day by day, one play at a time, one technique at a time, and then also just growing with my teammates. If a lot of focus is on me, then it's going to help a lot of my other players on defense thrive as well.
How do you guys continue on, or what do you do to try to mitigate the loss of Dalvin, who was such a huge part of your defensive line group?
Yeah, missing out on Dalvin, who was obviously a big part of the run game and a big part of this defense, leadership-wise as well. We definitely got to step up and fill that void. And, I think we definitely have the guys capable of doing that. I think we have the coaches capable of putting guys in the right position to fill that void.
How much fun is Sean Spencer?
Sean Spencer, he's a great guy to play for. He has that young college coach type of energy.
He's loud.
That I love to be around.
He's loud.
Even other position groups love being around them. Like the DBs and linebackers love being around them just as much as the D-line. And, he's just a great guy to be around.
All right, couple more. I know you got to go. I talked to Dexter about this. We talk a lot about how this is a multiple group, especially in the back end, the skies doing different things. How is that for you guys up front, week to week? Are you like one gapping 1 week, two gapping the next? Play to play is different. How do things change in this defensive scheme for you guys up front, especially for someone like you that does move along the line of different positions?
I was going to say, like you said, it's a multiple group type of defense. Which I love, we're not. It's harder for teams to scheme against us if we're constantly changing.
Yeah, they can't find you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said about Coach putting players in the right position to succeed. I played everything from a 0 all the way out to a 9 technique last year. So I basically played everything along the front defensive line last year. And, it's fun to work different techniques, different schemes, be on different type of players, work different type of blocks. And, it just makes me a better, more versatile player. 3
technique is where you like it, though? Is that what you like?
Yeah, 3 technique is my home, but I definitely like to branch out to, a little bit of defensive end sometimes. I'd rather go a little more out all the way to 3 technique versus going to nose over the center.
The more space, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like being on the guards and tackles a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay, final question then. As a defense as a whole, what's the next step this group can take? You guys were already a top half of the defense last year. You had some dominant performances like you did against Seattle. What can come together to make this defense even better in 2021?
Like I said about, my own personal stuff about taking it day by day, I think it's the same thing that we're going to have to do as a defense. But at the same time, coming off of what I thought was a great year defensively, I think we definitely have a lot to grow and continue from last year. And I think just being more consistent. There was multiple games where we were just lights out, shut down defense. And I think just getting that to be more consistent will take us a long way.
Leo, great stuff. Look forward to seeing you out there doing just that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's Leonard Williams. We thank him, along with Dexter Lawrence and Austin Johnson, for joining me on this edition of the Giants Huddle Podcast. Everybody, just a reminder, you can find the Giants Huddle Podcast on the Giants mobile app at giants.com/podcast and your favorite podcast platforms. For the guys, I'm John Schmeelk. We'll see you next time, everybody.